Hello. If this is your first time here at my channel, my name is Asha Oya, and I am a Law of Attraction coach, among other things. And I'm coming here to talk to you guys about my experience with the Neville Goddard ladder exercise experiment, and also to tell you how you can try it and experience the effects of it and the benefits of it in your own life. Essentially what this exercise is a manifestation technique. You're manifesting all the time. We're all manifesting all the time. Everything that we experience is a manifestation. But what I help people understand, and what this experiment is to help you understand, is how manifestation actually works and how you can be more intentional about what you're manifesting so as to get the things you want and not the things you don't want. And so yeah, actually I feel like I need some chapstick really quick. That's better. Okay, so I will first start off by saying that when I first started this experiment, I was really excited, and I did it for the first week. First week I did it, and I did everything to the T that you're supposed to do. I followed it exactly, and I was like noticing though that what I had chosen for my experiment hadn't manifested yet. And so I was doing an experiment, but I also had this awareness of, but it's not here yet. So I had some resistance, right? When you keep noticing that something isn't there, that it hasn't happened, that's what you're manifesting, the lack of it. So the second week, I tried not to do that, but then also became a bit more inconsistent with my application of the experiment exercises. So I was like inconsistent the second week, and it still hadn't happened yet. And then after the second week, I just sort of stopped actively doing it. When I remember, I would do it, but it really wasn't that often. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna let the focus on that go. And this was, I started this experiment at the beginning of September. And then by the end of September, I had manifested what I chose for my experiment. And I didn't even realize it at first right away. But then, yeah, I didn't realize it at first right away, but it'd probably been like, I don't know, maybe like almost a week after it happened, like I manifested it, that I realized that, oh, I did that experiment for this. It fucking worked. And I was like, sweet. And so what I really took away from this experiment is that the reason that Neville tells you to do this experiment with a ladder is because most people don't have any resistant thoughts about ladders, right? No one's like, man, no one's like, oh, I really want a ladder. But I also have thoughts about how I hate ladders. Like, no one really has resistant thoughts about something like a ladder, unless maybe you work with ladders or you invent ladders. Maybe you do. But when you choose something that you don't really have an emotional attachment to, it's a lot easier for that thing to sort of just it's into your reality, and so that you can see how it's working. But when you use something that's important to you or that you care about, it's possible that there's all going to be some conflicting thoughts in there. And what's really important to know is that whether you want something or not, by focusing on it, eventually it will come. But it's all about how you feel about the thing. And yeah, so let me go ahead and explain how to actually do the experiment, and it's going to give you a lot more context. So the experiment, as Neville gives it, is the first step is that you will write on a bunch of little sheets of paper, like some sheets of paper like this, you know, maybe smaller. I've got one up over there on my room, like on my closet door still. I haven't taken down yet. But you're gonna write on that piece of paper, I will not climb a ladder. And you wanna make a bunch of these and put them all around your house. Put one in your wallet, so every time you open your wallet, you see it. Maybe put one and tape it up in your car or something, or at your office desk, or somewhere that you go all the time. In your kitchen, in your bathroom, in your front door, back door, anywhere you can, to constantly remind you that when you are waking, you are going to constantly think, I do not want to climb a ladder. That's the first step. The second step is at night, before you go to bed, when you're lying in bed and you're relaxed, you are going to visualize climbing a ladder. You're going to visualize every single part of that. You're going to imagine all of your senses engaged. So how does the ladder feel when you're holding it, right? How do your hands feel gripping it? How does your leg feel when you raise it and you put your foot on that rung, and then you're pushing up and your quads and hamstrings and glutes are engaging and push your body up, and you grab another rung. So you really want to really immerse yourself in the experience of climbing this ladder. And so once you get to the top of the ladder, then you climb down the ladder. And then I think he says that you want to do that at least 3 times. But I would recommend doing it until like you fall asleep or something like that. But I think he said you want to do it like at least 3 times, like fully engaging all of your senses and attention and focus on what it feels like and what the experience is of climbing a ladder. And he says do this every day. And how many days did he say to do it? I think he said do it for this particular experiment. He was doing like a workshop, and he said that I believe it was, you do this for the next 3 days, and he's gonna have, and after 3 days you manifest it, like you end up climbing a ladder in your real life, then come back to his next workshop, and then he'll talk to you about what happened. And he's like, if after 3 days you don't end up climbing a ladder in your real life, then keep doing it until you do, until it happens, essentially. And what the purpose of this is meant to show you is that the universe does not hear no. There is no law of exclusion. So if you say in your waking life, yeah, I don't want to climb a ladder. I don't want to do that. I will not climb a ladder. It's not happening. You can climb a ladder, but I'm not climbing a ladder. All the universe hears is climbing a ladder, because that's what you're focused on, is the climbing of a ladder. The universe doesn't hear no. So the no doesn't work. And then at night, you're thinking about climbing a ladder. Even if you were to pose in that dream, like, oh, I don't want to climb a ladder, the focus is still on climbing a ladder. And so whatever you focus on, whether you want it or not, is going to come in, right? And so this experiment is meant to show you how manifestation works, how the laws of the universe works, right? Let's do another example. So let's say, okay, let's use example of this. Let's say that you decide that you're going to do it on the color red. So you say, I won't wear anything red. I won't wear anything red. I hate the color red. I don't like the color red. I will not wear red at all. Sorry, it's like water in here. I'm actually thirsty. But if you See, the universe doesn't hear no with that. And let's say that at night you visualize yourself wearing the color red. Red shirt, red pants, red shoes, red hat, red hair, maybe even red nail polish, just everything red. And you just maybe you're like, you know, just in a fitting room in a mirror, like looking at yourself in a mirror wearing red in this visualization. Or maybe in the visualization you're putting on red clothing. You're adorning yourself in everything red, red jewelry, red watches, red glasses, red, you know, red everything, red tie, red suit, red button up, red underwear, everything red. Eventually what will happen is, even though you're saying that you will not wear red and you're visualizing wearing red, all the universe sees is that you're focusing on wearing red. And so wearing red will come into your reality. You will find yourself at some point wearing red. It must happen because that's where your focus goes. And so what I find really interesting about this experiment is that, God, it really makes visceral the law of exclusion, which there is not one. The lack of the law of exclusion. The law of exclusion does not exist. And that there's so many things that we say no to and that we push against. And we're like, no, I don't want that, or I don't want this, or this is not okay, or I will not do this. But you're still giving your attention and the focus to it. And so you're still going to continue to attract that into your life, even though you're saying no to it. That's why I really advise you to be very careful about boundaries, right? Because boundaries are saying like, no, not this, not this, not this. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. But it's just important to understand that when you say no to something, you're going to attract more of that into your reality. You're going to attract more instances to say no to something. If you say, no, I don't want dogs to come into my yard. I'm going to put a sign here. I don't want dogs on my yard. I don't want dogs pooping on my yard. You're going to end up attracting dogs pooping in your yard. Just by your focus on that boundary, that no, I do not want dogs pooping on the yard. All the universe hears and picks up on is your focus on dogs pooping in your yard. And so now, and then when it happens, you're like, well, good thing I have the sign, because without the sign, dogs would have pooped in my, dogs are pooping in my yard, so I needed the sign. No. Your focus on that is what's causing it to happen. It has nothing to do with the sign. Nothing to do with the sign. Or another one, like you say, like, I don't want to date guys that are like, let me think of an example. Let's say short guys, right? I'm using my own life here. I don't want to date short guys. So I'm like, no, I don't want to date short guys. That's not what I want. I want tall guys. I'm really focusing on the fact that I don't want short guys. I'm like noticing all the short guys. And I'm like, I don't want to date them. Not you, not you, not you, not you, not you. All the universe here is short guys. And so we'll keep presenting you with more short guys. That's how it works. So instead, what you want to do in the case of boundaries would be to focus on not what you don't want, but what this thing you don't want has caused you to actually desire. So an example of short guys. Instead of focusing on I don't want short guys, instead I will focus on I want tall guys. The experience of being next to a tall guy, in front of a tall guy, looking at a tall guy, focusing on that, how that feels. That's what you will begin to attract in, not short guys. And in an instance of dogs pooping on the lawn, instead of focusing on, oh, I don't want dogs to poop on my lawn, focus on, oh, I want a nice, clean lawn. Nice, clean lawn. nice, clean, fresh cut lawn, and just seeing your lawn as pristine, seeing it as untampered with, seeing it as perfect just as the day you cut it or your landscaper cut it. Beautifully manicured and landscaped, focusing on how nice and easy that feels, how peaceful that feels, how serene that feels, how perfect it feels. That's what you will want to give your focus to. And so what I did for this ladder experiment, I didn't manifest a ladder. I did my experiment for counting money. So I put on my little slips of paper, I will not count money. And when I would, right before I went to bed, I would visualize counting money. And I did it in varying amounts. Sometimes I would count out, in the beginning I started counting out small amounts, but then I was like, I felt inspired and called to count out larger amounts. So I started counting out amounts of like 1,000 stacks of bands of $1,000 at a time. And then I would count out just until I felt like it. Sometimes I counted out like 30,000. No, it's more than that. Sometimes I counted out usually around 100,000. I would go into that amount. And then sometimes I would count more, sometimes I count a little bit less. And then what I would do is, once I was done counting the money, then I would have someone come and take the money to go deposit it for me. And so that was my visualization I was doing when I was doing it. And in less than 30 days, with only really doing it consistently for a week, I ended up manifesting a job where every time I walk in, I get cash handed to me of tips from the prior shift. And it wasn't something I was expecting at all, because I sort of totally forgot about this experiment. I sort of just like let it go, and I was like, it will be what it will be. I'm not doing it consistently anymore. It hasn't happened yet. That's fine. I'm just gonna keep moving. I'm just gonna keep on with my life, and it's okay. But I ended up manifesting it, and yeah, like I said earlier, I think it was probably like a week or so after it actually manifested, I realized that, oh, I did that experiment. Oh, it worked. And of course it works, you know? It's just everything in perfect timing. And that's something about it, right? Is that we can't necessarily control exactly when our manifestations come in. Yes, we can heavily influence those, but everything will happen in the perfect timing when it's meant to. And it will behoove you to keep focusing or thinking about the fact that whatever you're trying to manifest hasn't come yet, because that's a contradictory vibration. That's a contradictory thought to what you do want. And yes, everything eventually comes, but by imposing contradictory or resistant thoughts, we can slow down the process. We can make the process, more difficult or not as easy or what have you by imposing resistant or contradictory thoughts to what we actually want. So that's something to really, really be careful about, and just notice, maybe you won't be able to change this necessarily right now, or be able to have perfect thoughts all the time or perfect emotions. And there's really no such thing, but sorry, I need more chapstick again. Oh, here it is. Just be easy about it. None of this is serious. None of this is a big deal. Just really have fun with this. See this as what it truly is an experiment, a game, right? You going and playing a game with your friends. Like, you do it because it's fun, right? Sure, it'll be great to win. Winning always feels really good, but also just playing the game for the sake of playing the game is really fun and satisfying. And the moment of the winning only really lasts a moment, and then it's over. But the playing of the game, the journey on the way to whatever it is the most satisfying and enjoyable part, and what really makes the moment of manifestation feel so good and so satisfying, no matter what happens, no matter how it manifests. So this is a recount of my experience with the Neville Goddard ladder experiment, explaining the experiment, explaining what I did for my experiment, how my experiment turned out, and really just giving some tips and advice as to things to keep in mind when doing this and what this is actually showing you. I would really love to hear if any of you try this and let me know your results, how it turned out, what you decided to do for your experiment. Did you use the ladder or did you decide to do something else? And then I also want to let you know I am going to start another experiment. And if you want to hear how this experiment goes for me, then just comment and let me know if you want me to do like another video about this experiment. But I'm starting another one literally today. So yeah, I'm excited to do that. And I also have a feeling I might tweak the experiment a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see what I do. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for taking the time to educate yourself about the law of attraction, to continue to invest in your personal growth, your spiritual growth, your vibrational growth, your point of attraction. Just the fact that you are here right now watching this video means that you are doing something beneficial for yourself, that you're going in a positive direction and you manifested this moment. So congratulations. Thank you. And if you're interested in other law of attraction exercises, I have lots of other videos on my channel where I talk about other things related to the law of attraction. I also am accepting one-on-one law of attraction clients at this time. So if you're interested in working with me directly on getting into alignment with who you truly are and improving your point of attraction so that you can bring in more of what you want and less of what you do not want, then please go ahead and click the link in the description. I've got it there, and go ahead and get signed up with me. I also have a free law of attraction, like one-on-one training that you can take. And if you're interested in actually working with me one-on-one, this is a requirement. I need you to have a baseline understanding of how the laws of the universe work. That way we can make the best use of any time that we have together. And if you are at this time not interested in doing one-on-one, but just want to learn more about the law of attraction and laws of the universe, is an excellent place to start at. I know there's a lot of stuff out there on the internet and on YouTube about the law of attraction. This really presents the information in a very simple, straightforward way in plain language. So I hope that you enjoy. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.